It's champion versus champion in the MLS Next Pro Invitational as MLS Next Pro champions North Texas host Liga MX Expansión champions CD Tapatio from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Welcome in alongside former U.S. Women's National Team player Casey White. I'm Josh Toll. North Texas John Gall ready for this game. Will have his club in a 5-2-3-1. Michael Colodi getting the start between the sticks.
Well, and Cisse will be right in front. The wingbacks will go forward and join this double pivot, making it look more like a 3-4-3 at times. Sam Sarver is going to be up top with Scott and Padrino, but definitely Sam Sarver is the focal point of this attack for North Texas.
Sam Sarver has been on absolute fire for North Texas this season. 14 goals on the year.
Well, he's such a personality and so much passion in the way he plays and competitiveness, but he also scores in so many different ways. 4 goals in their last game and all 4 different types of goals. He will be the catalyst for their attack here this evening.
Sarver, the current Golden Boot leader in MLS Next Pro in his first year out of the University of Indiana. He has been on absolute fire. 4 goals in the last 5 games for North Texas. For Arturo Ortega, for CD Tapatio, he will have his club in a 4-3-3. Eric Montiel getting the start between the sticks.
Well, and expect a very compact back line. Aguayo will be there in the center midfield. Torres, Castro, and Moragrega up top in the front 3. But expect a very defensive, structured group out of this 4-3-3 that'll look to step aggressively in the half spaces against this North Texas team.
And Diego Delgadillo in the back line. He is our man to watch. Scored in the away match against Leones Negros in the Campeón de Campeones. He's going to have his hands full with the attack of North Texas.
Well, so much of what they are known for is being able to step into that half space and put pressure on the forwards and the attacking mids of their opposition. Diego Delgadillo will be really important because he should be matched up with Sam Sarver if they come out the exact way we think they are, and he'll have his hands full with that, but he'll equally try to get to the attack as well.
What's interesting right now for Tapatio, currently in their preseason, their first game will be played on August 3rd. Meanwhile, for North Texas, they're in the middle of their season right now, so they're ready to go.
Yeah, it's a really interesting matchup with all of the players that are here, and when you bring up the different times of the season as well, you have to understand that can impact the way the first 15-20 minutes go, but then once you're into the game, everyone is going for it.
Tapatio might have to get their legs underneath them early. Our referees here today, our head referee, Amy Nanso Ancawayo, our first assistant, Ben Calver, our second assistant, Joshua L., and our fourth referee today is Joshua Menses. Both teams coming together. First meeting between these two clubs ever in history. North Texas, last year's MLS Next Pro Cup champions, defeating Philadelphia Union by a score of 3-2. Meanwhile, Tapatio comes in, 2-time Campeón de Campeones champions. They also won in 2023 as well as last year in 2025. For Liga MX, they do a little bit differently with the 2 different seasons.
Well, that's always interesting because some teams can really do well in the Apertura, some do better in the Clausura, which is the second part of the season, and they definitely were the ones that were performing in that Apertura, that first part of their season, and they've made it a bit of a repeat, being able to do it 2 years in a row and then being rewarded with this game and matchup versus North Texas.
Arturo Ortega will get his first look at North Texas. He was appointed head coach in January just this season for CD Tapatio. Meanwhile, familiar face back in John Gall for North Texas. Spent some time with the first team, as there you get a great look at the captains come to the table before, and there will be a trophy awarded after this game as well.
Well, it's always fun to play for a trophy, and that's the players we picked out to really watch in this game. Expect to see them near each other very often in this one, with Sam Sarver looking to create a lot going forward and Delgadillo trying to keep him off the board.
Unique game between these two clubs and these 2 different leagues where you don't get to see this all that often. Casey, as a former player, when you saw a team that you didn't see regularly, how difficult was it to adjust early in games?
It could be difficult, but initially it simplifies it as a player because you really have to focus on you. What are we doing? What's our identity? And then as the game goes on, that's where it becomes a little more difficult because you have to have that adaptable piece of your game to understand where you can hurt opposition, where they might be finding success against you, and adapt in game. But it makes it fun. That's the exciting part, is being able to face some different competition.
That was one of the things that John Gall talked about. He was excited for this game. They are not going to take it lightly. He wanted to see what Tapatio can bring. Really impressed by the club and what they bring historically. Proud, rich tradition, but this game means a lot to North Texas.
And it doesn't. Anytime you play for a trophy, it has to mean something. And these guys are competitors. They're going to want to bring that North Texas to, obviously, to MLS Next Pro. On the flip side for Tapatio, for Liga MX expansion. So it really is exciting for them to be able to do that, especially for North Texas, I think, in the middle of their season to have a chance to play for it.
North Texas tonight will be in the red and blue kit. Meanwhile, for Tapatio, they will be in the all whites this evening. Last year, MLS Next Pro Invitational, Austin FC taking down FC Cancun in the first ever meeting between the two leagues. Austin winning that in a thrilling match, 2-1. So the second time that we're ever seeing these two leagues face off against one another. Beautiful night in Frisco, Texas, as we are about to kick from Toyota Stadium. Tapatio will begin with the ball to start this off. Some new faces on Tapatio's side as we are underway from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. North Texas hosting Tapatio in this MLS Next Pro Invitational. This one's going to be played all the way back to Francisco Mendez. Mendez, 20 years old, getting the start. Some familiar faces on the back line from last year's Campeón de Campeones and Leonardo Jimenez, as well as the captain, Diego Delgadillo. And here is Delgadillo with the ball as he'll play it over to Freyfield. Patience here right now by Tapatio, and right now North Texas laying off on the press.
And I think we'll expect to see Tapatio really look to try and build. You can already see that they're building out of a 3-back system, and so you're right. North Texas kind of staying in a little bit more of a mid-block, not pressing too high. And this is the part of just feeling each other out that's really important early on.
North Texas in the middle of their season right now. Currently North Texas on the season sitting 4th in the standings in MLS Next Pro. 8 wins, 3 draws on the year. Michael Colodi getting the start between the sticks. His 3rd start across all contests this year. Last year, goalkeeper of the year in MLS Next Pro. Also made best 11 on the year. He's made 8 saves on the season. Has 2 appearances with the first team as Colodi sends it past midfield. This will come all the way back to Mendez. Mendez will go side to side. Delgadillo. Not seeing anything he likes as he'll reverse it back. For Tapatio, with the 2 different seasons like we talked about at the top. Fall season known as the Apertura, the opening, which runs July through December. Then the Castro, which runs from January to May. Last season, Tapatio winning the Apertura and then ultimately winning the Campeones de Campeón. As this is played into the box, and it'll be ushered out of play by North Texas.
Well, I think we'll expect to see that a little bit, Josh, in those wide channels, just with the way that Tapatio is set up, where they'll create those 2v1s, and that'll be something that, especially in transitioning to defend, that North Texas has to be aware of.
North Texas on the year, they are a lethal team when it comes to goal scoring. 32 goals on the season. They have given up 35. Beginning of the season, they gave up a lot of goals. That was one of the things that John Gall talked about in our coaches call this week. Really have gotten together over the 6 or last 7 games, as we do have a player down right now for Tapatio.
And just going into that area, just trying to take the space was Nolan Morris. It was an interesting collision right at the end as Norris gets that last touch on it, and so the Tapatio player is worse for the wear in that moment, but I don't believe any foul is necessarily going in his direction. That's
Ariel Castro down for Tapatio in his first season with the club. One of the big signings, Vladimir Morabrega, coming over from Atalante, where he scored 19 goals. He'll be up top for Tapatio. Tapatio looking at repeat as Campeón de Campeones. Essel, he'll play it wide. Molina will go backwards. Alvaro down with the first team, from the first team. On the season, he's made 8 appearances for the first team, 7 of those being starts. His first appearance ever, got an assist in the game against Colorado Rapids.
There's a lot of pressure coming from Tapatio, and it's even bringing Pedrino all the way back from his center forward position to try to keep possession of the ball. But we're already seeing that there's a lot of spaces between the lines. I think that bodes well more for North Texas when you have a player like Sarver who likes to get into those types of areas. So it'll see as they press if even those spaces open up more.
Cisse over to Norris. Norris, a familiar face for the second team of North Texas in the last 2 years. He started 25 games in 25 appearances. This ball played over the top, trying to find Sarver in space. Sarver ahead of the pack will run out of room as this ball crosses the end line. This is where Sarver's so dangerous on those runs. Saw a couple of those goals coming from runs just like that last week.
Well, and he has the ability to score in so many ways, or even just to create chances in so many ways. The ball over the top, the counter attack, but we've also seen him in tight areas understand the finishing choices as well. So that just makes a forward so much more unpredictable when you're not exactly sure how to defend them, because they find ways to create opportunities either way.
Delgadillo to midfield. Right there by Aguayo. He'll play into the circle, but no one there for Tapatio. Essel slows it down. Norris. Here's Gavin Gall. Talking with head coach John Gall about this relationship between MLS and Liga MX. It's a really good thing between MLS and Liga MX. Privilege to be here tonight and playing this game, and not just another game, represent a lot of different things, but really hoping to use this game as motivation pushing forward into the rest of the season.
Well, there's nothing like international competition as well. You asked earlier just about playing a team that you're potentially somewhat unfamiliar with, but then playing a team that has a different tactical approach and an international opponent is different.
Here's an opportunity for Pedrino. Pedrino to his right foot. Pedrino slots it off. Cut back pass, no one there for North Texas on the top of the 6-yard box. Frayfield plays it to safety.
Well, I love that from Pedrino, just looking to go as quickly as possible in that space that they were conceding. I really thought he was going to go for goal, as I think everyone did, instead of finding Molina on that right side. But I like the decision. It's unpredictable.
Pedrino last year scoring the game-winning goal in the MLS Next Cup Championship against Philadelphia Union 2. He scored that in stoppage time in a thriller. Scott. Sarver slowing up. Here's Malachi Molina. He'll play it inside. Molina with a little room to roam. Little chip pass for Pedrino. Pedrino trying to chip it over as it's blocked away by Delgadillo.
I love the movement and interchange, though. They're not looking just to create opportunities by shooting from distance. There's that little bit of interchange, some flick balls in behind. I like Molina coming in this inside channel, and he's looking just to go through and thread the needle right there to Pedrino, just a little bit off. And even the decision from Pedrino to try to clip it rather than going on goal, you can see the creativity in this North Texas side.
Texas really starting to come together, but overall on this season, John Gall talking about how they've been inconsistent. Started the season off by giving up too many goals, really got things together in the last 6 or 7 games, but really one of the large reasons, different lineups playing a factor as they develop players. As Sarver takes the ball away, Sarver cuts it across, and once again blocked away by Tapatio. And our first corner of the game coming to North Texas.
Well, we haven't even addressed what he can do defensively, and just taking advantage of a mistake right there as they're pressing in that moment. Looks to cut it across. It's a good sliding tackle from Frayfield in that moment, the center back, to make sure that couldn't come across the 18.
Pedrino now to take the corner for North Texas. The service into the area. Gall comes up late. Gall has numbers in the box, cuts it across. Frayfield taking his time in his first year with the club, last year with Toluca before making his way to Tapatio. And a poor giveaway. And chance here, Pedrino curling for the opening goal! Pedrino puts the home side up in the 9th minute.
And you could almost get the sense that this was coming. There were a couple miscues in the back for Tapatio. Right here, stepping in that moment, playing Pedrino in the second touch, which I love, and what a beautiful finish. This technically is perfect. And Sabaling gets the ball, finds him on the right foot. Instead of coming across his body, Pedrino opens up, curls it outside the frame of goal and back in. There's nothing the goalkeeper can do in that moment. It's just an exquisite finish.
Poor giveaway right there by Eric Montiel, giving it to, and Sabaling has the easy pass to Pedrino for the opening goal in the 9th minute of play.
Well, what I like about that, too, is Pedrino made it predictable for Sabaling to step in on. And then he's the recipient of it with getting the ball back and being able to have the opportunity to finish in the way he did. But they're pressing very well, and it's making it a little bit awkward for Mendez and Freyfield and Montiel to figure out how to bypass.
Pedrino already looking dangerous a couple different times. This one resulting in the goal, and the previous time tried to slip the ball on a pass out to Sam Sarver.
Yeah, it was almost a little bit too unselfish, those first 2 or 3 opportunities between Pedrino, Sarver, Molina going into that space. But that was the obvious choice, was to try and finish there, and you're not going to see many finishes better than that one.
Right now, things going North Texas's way as Tapatio is still trying to settle into this game here. Casey, what do you need to see from them in order just to maintain possession right now?
They got to beat that first line of pressure, which they're starting to do.
Slip ball, an opportunity, chipped and blocked by Colodi, and then sent away by Nolan Norris. Good response by Tapatio after the goal that was scored.
Aguayo does very well to take it on the backside shoulder with this run, and I like how he lets it run past his left foot. It becomes very cheeky. You can see it right here. He looks like he's going to shoot with his left. He doesn't, and then he tries to clip it with his right foot. If not for Norris, that would have been a pretty beautiful goal from the forward.
Colodi getting his 3rd start of the season with MLS Next Pro side North Texas. Does have 2 starts this season for the first team. Big save right there to keep this game 1-0 in favor of North Texas. Freyfield will simply play this out past the touchline, and a throw coming for Sarver and company. Essel.
That was well done by Essel just to absorb pressure. It's a little thing, but if he gets stripped in that moment, it's 2 against 1 at the back with the outside center backs being a little bit wider and expansive. So that's what you need from your holding midfielder. Between him and Sabaling will be really important, as most likely Tapatio will try to send players forward in that central area.
See Pedrino right now all over the field for North Texas off the top, now back. Near giveaway by Tapatio as it's collected in. Zamora will settle things down. Jimenez loses possession. Back pressure. Essel for Malachi Molina.
And you can see here for Tapatio, they're actually pressing more out of a 4-4-2, which is not necessarily something we initially thought they would do, but I'm not surprised to see that. A lot of the teams in Liga MX and in the Expansion League press out of that 4-4-2. That's how their defensive structure goes. So the center back of North Texas being able to play out calm under pressure is going to be important, or they'll give up possession like they just did.
Delgadillo, the captain. Plays it in the middle of the field, but no one there once again for Tapatio. Essel to Pedrino. Looking to go over for Scott. Scott able to track down the ball on the end line. Here's Gall. Patience by North Texas, not forcing anything inside.
is the positive consequence of having that early goal coming from Pedrino, is now you get to really dictate play. You don't have to push. You can try and keep possession, move it around, and that's really what John Gall told us he likes. They have a bit more verticality this year than he says is his own personal philosophy at times, but it fits the player personnel. It's been effective, but these are moments now where you can see that other side of the possession start to come out as they try to expand the lead.
Essel. Here's Sarver, always dangerous on the dribble. Has Scott to his right, goes to Pedrino to the left. Scott inside, Pedrino, the offside flag is up.
And that certainly had to be close. Sarver just was getting going incredibly quick. It almost looked like he took too big of a touch. That certainly doesn't look like it's offside. It looked like he was a little bit behind the back line, but better angle coming from our assistant referee. Good counter-attacking transition from North Texas. And I like the run from Scott to go inside. It drew the defenders away from Pedrino. If that's better timed or it's not called offside, it creates an opportunity for his front runner.
This Tapatio side, currently in their preseason last year, 16 wins and 10 draws on the year. Defeated Linos Negros at 3-1 in an aggregate in the annual match between the Apertura and Castro, as this is going to be gathered in by Gavin Gall. Ball given away, now an opportunity here. Aguayo, is this be saved by Colodi? Norris heads it out. Couple of good saves here early in the game from Michael Colodi of North Texas. Tonight's match is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Zamora. Brayfield in the circle over at Delgadillo. Delgadillo with a little space to work with, passes it off.
And this possession is good from Tapatio, but what it does is it allows North Texas to get into a defensive shape. Now they're able to step in. North Texas seems to be more comfortable when they're able to step and press in these moments, but you see the quality of Tapatio to be able to play out of it, especially when they get numbers higher up the field.
Zamora will have a foul called here against North Texas. Essel guilty of the foul. Zamora. Inda looping ball forward, an opportunity here, chipped, an opening goal now for Tapatio, but offside flag is up, and this one will be erased for Sergio Aguayo.
Well, he has been all over the place so far in this first 17 minutes. Any opportunity that's come for Tapatio has been through him, and he kind of just floats off the backside of Cisse, catching Norris offside in that, or he's offside in that moment, but he kind of catches him not paying attention. He's going right in behind there. He does appear to have that shoulder a little bit in front. It's close, but I tell you what, that's a really nice finish. Normally you're going across frame for it, but he touches that into the near post quite well.
Tapatio really coming alive after the goal by Pedrino. A couple different chances now for Aguayo in this game. One that was erased, another one that was shot on target, but saved by Colodi.
Well, the two pairing front of Tapatio is really hard to deal with, because if anyone's out of position at all, it's 2 against 3. If you're out, it's 2 against 2. And that matchup can be really hard when you have those front runners playing so close together.
This ball nearly won by Nolan Norris. He does keep it in play. Tapatio's Moragrega thought that went over the line. It did not. Sarver gives the ball away. Aguayo, nice ball forward, and offside flag up once again against Tapatio. Tapatio right now just trying to get their timing right on these passes. 2 of them in a row offside. Essel for Colodi. This ball cut in. Aguayo loses possession. Aguayo thought he was fouled, doesn't get the call. Pedrino looking for Sarver, stretching the back line. Scott to his left. Sarver, the captain, to the inline as he's knocked over, tries to draw the foul in the box, doesn't get the call.
This entire build comes from the recognition of Pedrino that they're under intense pressure. Tapatio's looking to press. He does it in two touch and just says, I'm going to release into the space beyond the back line, release pressure, but also he finds Sarver in the meantime, takes on the 1v1. This is good by Mendez. There's a little bit of some confrontation there, but it's good defending from the center back.
Scott goes down the ground, and we'll have a free kick here for North Texas. Zamora asking why it wasn't called on the other side. Tapatío, the captain, being talked to at the moment. Players will head back to their respective positions. Pedrino with the right foot. Nolan Norris near the ball as well.
But I'd be really surprised if Tapatio leaves that big of a gap at the top of the 18-yard box as well. There could be some moments of creativity if they don't put someone kind of in that whole area just to block that off.
Pedrino directing traffic from where he wants his players to stand. Pedrino plays it in, and this one goes through for the second goal of the game! Pedrino on the set piece, fools Montiel, and make it 2-0 North Texas.
Well, this is exactly what you ask your set piece taker to do. Just get it on the frame of goal. There's enough runs. It's a distraction. Defenders do not go with the run in that moment. And if you get it on frame, things like this can occur. And that's exactly what happens in that moment. Gavin Gall is running in that backside channel. If he doesn't get that on the frame of the goal, it's just going to go out for a goal kick because it's mistimed. But you do small details like that, good things happen.
Pedrino with his second goal of the game. This one coming on his set piece. He has been electric tonight here in Frisco, Texas. Is that Montiel just paying too much attention to Gavin Gall on that?
Yeah, he has to keep his eye on the ball in that moment, or not really understanding where he is in the frame of goal and thinking either Gavin Gall was going to get there, so he was going to set and then be able to make a save, or he didn't realize that that ball that was played in was actually still in the frame of goal and that it was going to sneak wide, and it certainly didn't.
That was one that Montiel would like to have back, misjudging that kick. But Pedrino coming down with the second team, scored the game-winning goal last year in the MLS NEXT Pro Cup. But last year he had 10 goals, 5 assists with North Texas. A player that's now seen plenty of time with the first team. 17 games played, 9 of those being starts. Aguayo, a step over to his left foot, the shot from distance, deflected right into the hands of Colodi.
Yeah, it's really interesting that it's 2-0 because 2 moments that Montiel would want back. Nothing he could do on the first initial goal besides he gave up the ball that allowed for the shot, but the finish was great. That one I think he could have dealt better with, but we can't forget that Aguayo's had a couple opportunities. He had that offside goal, so it's a little bit closer than the 2-0 actually leads on.
Essel Once again, looking for Sarver. Once again, stretching the back line. Playing over for Scott. Scott! Oh, how about the save by Montiel? Gets it with his chest. Pedrinho. All right, 2 goals in the game. He's having fun out there. Goal. Essel steps in. Essel. Want to slip that through to Pedrinho. Here's Scott at the top of the box. Molina for Sarver. Sarver trying to bring it to his left foot. Good defensive play right there by Freyfield. And now a chance here for Tapatio to advance. Inda.
Well, this is a good change of point because there's some isolation against a wing back here where they can try to take advantage, Tapatio. So good spell of possession.
Jimenez plays it inside. That ball knocked away by Alvaro coming up to defend. The shot from distance, a rocket into the top corner! How about that strike from Ariel Castro?
Such incredible power behind this finish. The buildup was great. It started on the left side, goes through an entire change of point out wide. Then Castro picks this up. He doesn't even take a look. He knows where the goal is. He doesn't have to look up. It's excellently struck. It's great technique. There's nothing Collodi can do all that. That goes right into the side netting, and we have a much closer game now.
Game that is now 2-1, possibly could have been 2-2 if it wasn't for an offside call against Aguayo about 10 minutes ago for Tapatio. But another great response after a goal was scored by the visitors.
Well, and as a reminder, Montiel just got that save as well on the flip side where Sarver played Scott in, where he just made himself big and it was a reaction save. That could have easily been 3-0, but you give yourself an opportunity. So although he made a couple early mistakes, he kept them in it, and now Castro's able to cut the lead in half.
This portion of the match is brought to you by Children's Health, the official healthcare partner of FC Dallas and North Texas SC. North Texas early in the game looked like the team that's in season right now, but Tapatio, every time they've scored, they've shown a response, and you have to like that if you're a head coach, Arturo Ortega.
Well, one of the things that's been interesting is both goals for North Texas have come off a mistake, and they've come off a set piece. So it hasn't necessarily been in the run of play. Although there's been some good quality through Sarver on the right side, Scott had that chance. They haven't really broken down Tapatio yet, but they've made the most of the moments they've created. On the flip side, Tapatio's pressing pretty high. They've had a couple moments for some good service. So I'd say it's pretty even. They're just playing in some different ways. And like you said, at different points in their season, one starting off, trying to figure some things out. A team in North Texas that's in the middle of their season, so things start to go your way. Set piece, things like that.
Other than limiting the mistakes for Tapatio, how do they slow down these direct balls to Sam Sarver and not allow him to get the space that he is?
There's a couple ways you can go about it. They're kind of in a 4-4-2 block, and if you stay too deep to try to limit the space behind their own back line, to not let Sarver run in behind, then you don't get pressure to the ball, and then they can possess around you. Then if you step too high, then there's more space to go. So you have to figure out, are we gonna stay low and let's let them play in front of us, or are we gonna try to press? I think it's better if Tapatio stays a little bit lower, because Sarver can hurt you if you don't press properly with the space in behind, but we'll see what they do, because they certainly seem like they want to press.
You think that's what Arturo Ortega was saying to his team right there? All right, let's drop a little bit lower right now?
Maybe, if that's what they want to do. He could be saying, hey, let's try to dispossess them. We'll figure it out and put Montiel as a goalkeeper a little higher to deal with the space in behind and cover the backs. But if it were me, I would want to be able to be a little bit more compact, stay in the game. I mean, we've seen 3 goals in 28 minutes. Just kind of shore things up defensively first, and then you can start to press.
We will resume play now after hydration break. Ariel Castro getting the goal in the 26th minute officially. Pedrinho began things in the 9th minute for North Texas, also scoring in the 22nd minute from a set piece. Molino charging down the field. Molina now will slow it up as he backtracks. Good pressure right there from Tapatio. Norris. Grab of the back shoulder right there as Nsombaling was the player that got fouled by Inda.
But if you're going to press, we were just having that conversation, and you might get spun out, you might as well foul in that moment, because if he does get out of that in Nsombaling, that's when he can spray those balls, and that's where you're really in trouble.
Inda, 17-year-old for this Tapatio side, represents Mexico at the U18 level. Plenty of players on both sides representing their national teams. Zamora. Jimenez looking to get it on the return, but over was Nolan Norris to win that ball to Pedrino. Pedrino works his way up the field. Pedrino for Gall.
It seems that ever since that hydration break, John Gall has put Pedrino out on this left side with Scott going more to that center forward role. I think that's kind of nice as a manager where Pedrino's having a lot of success, so your opposition is going to start to focus on you, and you're taking and occupying certain spaces. Now he's playing off the left side. It throws your opposition off a little bit because there's different player personalities and responsibilities that are different from Scott to Pedrino. So it's just a little bit of a switch up that I think can be good for North Texas.
It's also nice for Pedrino. He's played with Scott in the past. He's played with a lot of these other players on the second team as well. So not much of a change for him coming from the first team back down to the second team where he saw plenty of time last year. There at Castro, the goal scorer for Tapatio. Sarver unable to get around the defender there in Mendez. This ball just sent away by Montiel. An opportunity now here for Tapatio. Aguayo in the center.
So this type of possession just allows them to get more numbers forward. Tapatio, they go into more of their 3-back where they defend in a 4-back. So that just allows them to get one more number a little bit higher. That's why you see them circulating play, just trying to offset the back line of North Texas.
Zamora out wide. Chance here on the right foot. How about that challenge by Molina? Delgadillo. Jimenez. Jimenez will go inside, chipped out. And this will come out of play for a throw for Tapatio.
It's good defending from Alvaro to come into that inside space. If not, that partnership up top with Moragrega coming into there could have been really tough for them to handle right there at the top of the 18.
Inda will play this out wide. Molina defending as it goes inside for Zamora. Moragrega. Ball whipped in, but headed out by Alvaro. Headed right back into the box, and Clody will collect. Scott pushing up the field. Scott gets by one defender. How about that move? And Delgadillo comes in and shoulders Scott in the back, and we'll have a free kick here for North Texas.
Well, Scott knew exactly what he was doing. He was taking on two players, Castro and Delgadillo. Not an easy feat to take on, but he does well with one. Kind of mistouches it a little bit, just gets his body in front, and that's what draws the foul from Delgadillo.
Pedrino once again to take this set piece for North Texas. The last time he did, he scored. Much different angle though on this opportunity. Set pieces always a key in games. Right now, Pedrino and North Texas leading in that advantage. Once again, Nolan Norris to the right of Pedrino. Pedrino already with a brace in this game for North Texas. Pushing and shoving going on in the 18-yard box. Delgadillo once again talking with Emi Nanso Anyakwo. Swinging ball in, sent away, but right to Norris, and he'll let this go out of play. This portion of the match is brought to you by Advocare Rehydrate. Hydration for today, tomorrow, every day.
The game definitely has seemed to go more into the middle third now with both teams filling each other out. It felt really wide open, where a lot of times it'll start really tight and then open up as the game goes on. It's starting to tighten up a little bit more, and a lot of that's coming from Tapatio figuring out how to establish possession. They're not rushing it, they're circling it back around. And with North Texas having the lead, they don't really have to push anything. They can figure out, okay, when are our moments to step? We don't have to rush it.
Again, North Texas right now in the middle of their season here in MLS Next Pro. For CD Tapatio, their season will begin next week as they'll host Atletico La Paz. That game will be Sunday in the Apertura first round. Sarver from distance takes the deflection, but right to the hands of Montiel.
Well, and just after the dispossession, finding Sarver, and he always has a nose for goal. He wants to take the opportunity. He strikes it with the inside of his foot, so not generating enough power. And Montiel gets a little bit lucky that that deflection doesn't make it harder for him.
John Gall, high praise about Sam Sarver, just talking about his perfect fit. He's a competitor, wants to win at everything, whether it's in training, rondos, shooting games, doesn't matter. But they knew what they were going to get when they drafted him out of Indiana. But one of the things that he loves about Sam Sarver, the game means a lot to him, just how he brings his personality, his desire to win to the club, and that's really infectious.
It is, and you know what you're going to get out of a player like that. He's the captain as well, and he knew that those were a lot of the qualities he wanted all of his players to possess.
This ball played into the box, and opportunity headed, but right at Colodi. This time, it was Moragrega in the 6-yard box. Saw a play just like that a little bit earlier in this first half where it went to Aguayo, but he was ruled offside, so a goal was disallowed. That time, Colodi with a big save as Norris is tripped up.
It's a great service. This is really unpredictable because it's not too far in where Colodi can come out. He does well to hold his ground as Moragrega really reads the service of that quite well. If he heads that down into the ground, a much harder ball to deal with.
Pedrino grabbed from behind as this will be a foul against Freyfield, and we're gonna have our first booking of the game.
Well, Pedrino is just causing problems in that space. He's dropping into the seam, into that half space to try to get it and play make. There's an aggressive step from Freyfield, which I like. He needs to get pressure on Pedrino. There's players behind to cover, but Pedrino's just very elusive. It's very hard to stop him.
How do you stop him? Is that one way, just stepping forward, being a little bit more physical with him?
It can be, yes. You don't want to give space to a player like that, so you step in and you know that, okay, Mendez on your left and Delgadillo on your right have to cover him behind you, so you don't think twice about stepping, but you just got to keep him going backwards. Easier said than done, but if you can push him backwards, you've done a good job.
Tapatio switching sides. Jimenez, a little room to work with. Jimenez plays it out. Chance here for Castro. Castro gets Gall to go to the ground. Trying to chip it inside. It's sent away by Norris. Scott will drop it back. Pedrinho. Essel. Now Tapatio settling in this game, be more effective in the attacking third. Norris able to stride by Castro. Sabaling will play it for Sarver. Sarver into the box. Sarver with a shot! And just wide of the target. And took a deflection, and this will be a corner for North Texas.
When the back line of North Texas has been able to dribble, penetrate, and probe into midfield, break lines it in Sabaling, finding that opposite side has been really fruitful for them. It's a good first touch from Sarver. He's a little indecisive. I thought he would go a little bit quicker in the 1v1, but a good strike, gets the deflection, earns the corner kick.
Do have a player down on the ground. It's Francisco Mendez down for Tapatio. So the 20-year-old will get some water as the training staff comes out to look at him. Sam Sarver with an opportunity that was blocked. Sarver leading the team in scoring with 14 goals on the year. He's had a couple chances here this evening in this MLS Next Pro Invitational between North Texas and CD Tapatio.
And this is how Tapatio got back into it as well. So Pedrinho with 2 goals, but Ariel Castro would answer with a lovely finish. He's trying to battle Pedrinho for best strike on the evening. It was a great preparation touch, gets it on the perfect angle. That 45-degree angle allows him to hit that with some bend and some power, but a great goal from the midfielder.
Now we will resume play as Mendez is able to get up under his own power. Here's the goal scoring Castro. Second corner of the game here for North Texas. Looping ball in. Cisse gets his head to it, but off target.
Well, you were mentioning Sam Sarver on that last attack. He can certainly create on his own without any need for the tactical piece. But a lot of what's happening is there's a lot of openness on his right side because the way Tapatio builds, they have 3 in the back, and Torres gets really high. So if they change the point to his side, he is exhibiting where he can get into so much space and go in the 1v1, which is a dream for how he likes to play.
Step over by Castro. Molina there. This ball's played in. Chipped on. And ball won back by North Texas. No, we're going to have a foul just outside the top of the 18-yard box. Moragrega, the player down for Tapatio.
It's a good play down the left side. Moragrega initially gets a touch. Then it's Castro. He's right outside the box. Essel is coming back. A little bit of intervention there. It looks like it was right outside the penalty area. You can see in that moment just clips him there. If any part of Moragrega is on the line, it would have been a penalty, but it did appear that he was outside the box completely.
This one just taken not even a yard outside the top of the 18-yard box. Difficult position here for Tapatio as well. Sometimes you want that ball just a few yards further back so you can get it over that wall to dip in.
Well, you'll definitely see that sometimes where players will move it a little bit further once the wall is set. It's a little bit cheeky just to create that extra yard of space, half yard of space to get it up and over.
Right now, 4 players near the ball for Tapatio. We've seen some pushing and shoving in this game between these two sides. Inakwo Try and separate both sides. Very good look at North Texas's head coach and John Gall.
Just taking a look back at what initially happened, just a little bit of words being exchanged and just a little bit of extracurriculars right there. But I think our referee does a pretty good job of just making sure it doesn't escalate.
And there you see Arturo Ortega for CD Tapatio. They're going to have a yellow card handed out as well, as Essel will go into the books for North Texas. So Freyfield earlier in this game for Tapatio, and now Essel for North Texas have gone into the books.
Well, I think Essel might have been a little bit lucky he didn't get a yellow for the initial challenge because he was recovering on top of the box. It was a pretty tough challenge, but he ends up getting one anyways there with the scuffle.
All right now lying down behind the wall for North Texas. Aguayo looks to take this kick for Tapatio. Aguayo through the wall and saved by Colodi. How about that read? Sarver now with space to work. Sarver sprinting forward. Sarver doing a good job playing to space. And no whistle. We'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time added on to the first half.
Damas y caballeros, atención por favor, el cuarto oficial ha indicado que se le dará un mínimo de 4 minutos a la primera mitad del juego.
Delgadillo, the captain. This ball chopped down by Essel, but goes right into the pathway of Jimenez. Castro.
Well, the role of Essel and Nsabaling are really important in that holding mid because that's where some of the opportunities are coming from. It's right on top of the back line.
Inda turns aside. Inda going up the middle. Molina, little chip pass out to Sarver. Nsabaling fouled from behind. Score 2-1 if you're just joining us. Pedrino with both goals for North Texas. Errol Castro with the lone goal for Tapatio.
Well, this opportunity was really well struck from the top of the box by Aguayo, but Colodi reads that very well. He had the wall set exactly where he could see, okay, if it goes in this direction, I'm going to be able to set and extend and make the save.
Colodi, of course, last year is a goalkeeper of the year in MLS Next Pro. Big save right there to keep this game 2-1. Both keepers have had a couple of really good saves in this opening half of play. Again, you take away the couple mistakes from Montiel, maybe the scoreline is a little bit different. Pedrino. This ball will find its way to Freyfield.
Well, this is a good moment to press. You can see all the numbers committed forward from North Texas. You just don't want to let them out, but also equally well played by Tapatio.
Castro. Nice little soft touch right there by Jimenez. Here's Castro. Back for Jimenez. Jimenez. Sidestep, Jimenez to Castro. Castro shot blocked. Gall tripped up by Morgrega. Lovely first touch by Jimenez to get around the defense of North Texas, nearly creating an opportunity in the attacking third.
Well, the composure in that moment important. You can see tactically where against that three back of what North Texas plays, that space is in the wide channels for them to take advantage of. But also when you get there, what do you do with it? And they're really composed, really technical, trying to play into that attacking final third.
Lodi looking to go over the top, was looking for Sarver, but overcooks the pass. A few different times Sarver stretching that back line. We'll see how Tapatio adjusts at the break to try to stop that. Foul's going to be called here against Malachi Molina. And at the half, North Texas 2, Tapatio 1, and a good back and forth first half. Casey, your thoughts on the first 45 minutes of play?
Well, I think we're in for a big second half. It's wide open at times. There's some really good technical attacking moments. I think it's going to be which teams make less mistakes out of the bat, because both of these teams are hungry to score, press high, and generate opportunities. 2
mistakes were made in the first half for Tapatio that led to goals by Pedrino. He has a brace. Errol Castro with the lone goal for Tapatio. Our score at the break, North Texas 2, CD Tapatio 1 in this MLS Next Pro Invitational. Highlights and stats from the first half of play when we return in this MLS Next Pro Invitational.
Este verano, el centro del fútbol mundial está aquí. Los mejores del mundo. El deporte mundial en tu propio rincón. 4 grandes eventos. Un verano como ningún otro. Para aprender más, visite mlssoccer.com/summer.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
it's dominance on the line.
The youngest MLS debutant, Kevin Sullivan. Luna. Yes! That is a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair. Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Our score at the half of the MLS Next Pro Invitational. North Texas leads Tapatio by a score of 2-1. The stars of MLS Next Pro playing right now. But Monday we had the MLS Next All-Star game and it was one you did not want to miss. Lorenzo Cornelius doing all the work here, sets up Tim Dennis of Minnesota United for the opening goal of the game for the West Side. Plenty of players that we're going to see in MLS Next Pro this year as well as in future.
Well, if you want to watch an all-star game, this is what you want to see. You want to see goals, a 4-3 final for the East. You don't want to see a 0-0 game. So everyone getting in on the action, a great display of the talent here in MLS Next Pro.
Jameer Johnson with the game-winning goal for the East right there, hitting off the crossbar. That's 4-4 for Columbus Crew, getting the goal right there for the Eastern Conference. It was back and forth between this one, came down to the 85th minute.
That's what you want as well. It's a little bit of drama, and you put someone in a position that's a young player to have to convert in a big moment, and they do.
Future stars on the big stage on Monday in the MLS Next All-Star Game, with East getting the win by a score of 4-3. But here at the break, our score, North Texas SC 2, Tapatio 1.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
It's dominance on the line.
The youngest MLS debutant, Kevin Sullivan. Luna. Yes! It's a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at mlssoccer.com/summer.
The first half did not disappoint in the MLS Next Pro Invitational. At the break, our score, North Texas 2, Tapatio 1. First 45 minutes filled with excitement, but filled with mistakes early for Tapatio.
And something to be expected as they're coming into their season. So the first one from Montiel, trying to play out in the build, and Sabaling steps in, finds Pedrino right there. It's a great first touch, just to curl it into that back post. It's a really good finish. That puts North Texas up 1-0. A lot of happiness starting quick in that first 10 minutes, but Tapatio wouldn't stop, continuing to go forward. The little slip pass to Aguayo. Colodi has come up very big, and Norris is there for insurance and behind to make sure that this doesn't become a goal.
Colodi's first big save of the game right there, just getting a little piece with his left hand, doing enough to stop the shot of Aguayo.
And Aguayo was very active. Inda finds him on backside with the run. It's a finish. It's offside. It doesn't count. Thinking they find the equalizer in this moment. He just drifts into the back of the 6-yard box. A good left-footed finish, but it would be called back. And North Texas would capitalize because they would get a set piece. Pedrino again puts this on frame. Gavin Gall causes a distraction in front. Montiel completely caught off guard, and they double the lead.
Montiel there paying too much attention to Gavin Gall, and Pedrino gets the brace in this game.
Ariel Castro would have something to say about it. He's right there, about 25 yards out. You don't see a strike much more clean than this. A good prep touch, goes for power, but bends it right into the side netting, makes it 2-1 for Tapatio, and just continuing to go for chances would be Tapatio. They're looking for the equalizer, but Colodi comes up big right at the end of the half.
Huge save right there on this set piece, just at the top of the 18-yard box, right before the break, and that would have leveled things up in this game here as we are at the break. North Texas 2, Tapatio 1. Second half coming up between these two sides and what should be an exciting finish here in the MLS Next Pro Invitational.
Yeah, I know I'm fully attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro.
Este verano, el centro del fútbol mundial está aquí. Los mejores del mundo. El deporte mundial en tu propio rincón. 4 grandes eventos. Un verano como ningún otro. Para aprender más, visite mlssoccer.com/summer.
MLS debutant Kevin Sullivan. Luna. Yes! It's a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
it's dominance on the line.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at mlssoccer.com/summer.
The first 45 minutes in MLS Next Pro Invitational did not disappoint between North Texas and CD Tapatio. North Texas up 2-1 as we come out of the break. In Casey, we saw back and forth soccer. We saw both teams get excellent opportunities. Keepers coming up with big saves in that first 45 minutes here in the second half. What are your expectations from Tapatio coming out of the break?
Well, they're going to have to search for the equalizer, but it's how they do that. Do they take a slower approach just to keep the game close and then build into it? Because they certainly did that in the first half, or do they come out flying? I think either way, there's going to be no shortage of chances from either side, because Tapatio at some point in the second half will have to commit numbers forward to try to get the equalizer, and spaces will start to open up.
And for North Texas, how do they utilize their chances and open up those spaces and create those opportunities?
There's 2 pieces for me. This is the change of point when they're under pressure to find their midfield centrally and find Sarver on the opposite side, or Scott if it's going out towards the left. And then also using the wide channels. Get Molina and Gall on the ball more. Molina did a little bit more in that first half just to be running at players in the wide spaces. That can help break down the 4-4-2 of Tapatio.
2-1 our score. Padrino with the 2 goals for North Texas. Errol Castro with the lone goal for Tapatio in this game. But Aguayo, he's been dangerous in that attacking third as well for Tapatio.
Well, he's always looking to get on the backside shoulder. He's having little slip runs. He has a nose for goal. He just is that prototypical 9 forward that he's not overly involved in that middle third of the field and setting play and keeping possession. That's more Moragrega. He's the one that's looking for those little pieces and little yards of space in the box to finish, and that'll be important for Tapatio in the second half.
And how can he be more effective in those spaces, Moragrega? We didn't say much of his name in that opening half.
I think he needs to come to the ball a little bit more. He has really good size and can hold up play a little bit more. That allows Aguayo to have more space, because when Moragrega would check to the ball, he's going to draw Cisse, or he's going to draw Alvaro to step into that half space, and that leaves space in behind.
Moragrega scored 19 goals last year with Atalanta in his first season here with Tapatio. For Tapatio, currently in their preseason right now, this is their final game before the Apertura season begins next week, as they will host Atletico La Paz next Sunday. Meanwhile, MLS Next Pro in the middle of their season, as we will have a sub here to begin the second half for North Texas. Favor Ariame will come in to begin the second half of play. And coming off will be Nolan Norris for North Texas. For Ariame, this will be his 4th appearance of the season. His first start earlier this year against Sporting Kansas City 2. And we are underway once again from Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Josh Toole, the former U.S. Women's National Team member, Casey White with you to close out this MLS Next Pro Invitational between North Texas and Tapatio. You see a foul early here called against North Texas. Things got a little chippy there as well towards the end of the first half. We'll see how that boils over here in the second half.
And that's expected. There's a lot of the line. They're playing for a trophy. There's that little bit of rivalry that you always see in international competition, especially between Mexican competition and the United States. So I think it brings a lot of fun and a lot of passion to the game. I do think it hurts Tapatio.
Moragrega drops his pass off. Looping ball. Sarver trying to create space, unable to do so. Good challenge right there, won by Saul Zamora. And we'll have our first yellow card of the second half given out, and it's going to go to the substitute, Favor Ariame.
Well, SL has gone into the back line. There's been a shift with Alvaro going to center back and Cisse going out to the left center back. That's brought Arayame in. It's a really good tackle from Zamora. And then Castro is the one who gets taken out by Arayame and the yellow card's given.
Arayame with a careless foul right there for North Texas. 3 players now in the books in this game. Essel as well for North Texas. Frayfield in the books for Tapatio. Frayfield, he'll go out wide. Looping ball in, no one there though for Tapatio. It's MLS Next Pro Invitational, champion versus champion. North Texas, the MLS Next Pro champions. Meanwhile, Tapatio, the Liga MX Expansión champions. Last year in the Invitational, it was Austin FC taking on FC Cancun in the first ever meeting between the two leagues. Austin winning that thrilling match 2-1, our scoreline that we have right now. I think with what we saw in the first half, we're going to see more goals here in the second as Scott wins the ball and he's fouled. And Sarver might have a good argument for advantage to be played.
I'd be frustrated if I was Sarver. You want to be in the 1v1. They're out of their defensive shape, Tapatio. So you've got to let that play on a little bit more. Scott does a really good job in putting the back line under pressure, but a little bit too quick of a whistle for me. And it's right there. It's Scott going right against Delgadillo. He gets fouled right in that moment, but it falls right into the path of Sam Sarver, your captain, who you want going towards goal.
Pedrino's second goal of the game coming in at the 22nd minute, coming off a set piece. And a ball that was misread by Montiel as he was more concerned about Gavin Gall in the box. Pedrino right now with the ball in his right hand. Pedrino on the season, 17 games played with FC Dallas, 9 of those being starts. 2 goals, 3 assists for the first team this year. Last year with the second team, he had 10 goals and 5 assists. Arayame will stand with the left foot. Here's Pedrino into the box, but right at Montiel. Missed opportunity right there for North Texas. Another foul once again by North Texas. Tapatio looking to play quickly. Diagonal ball, Arayame right there for North Texas. Just heads it out past the touchline.
Well, I think we got our answer right there, is that Tapatio is going to push the pace a little bit when they can, especially if they can find in transition where North Texas doesn't have all their players back. So starting in these first 5 minutes, a little bit aggressive, which I like to see. I like to see a team going after it right away.
Good thing for Tapatio, this being the preseason. Maybe they'll try some things a little bit differently than they normally will as they gear up for the regular season, as this is played in, but right at Colodi. Giveaway by Tapatio. Pedrino to Sarver. This is where he's dangerous, but Montiel well out to play that ball away from Sarver, knowing just how dangerous the attacker is.
Well, you're going to commit numbers forward. If there is a loss of possession like there was in that moment in midfield, you've got to have your goalkeeper helping control that space behind the back line, because Mendez tried to step and catch Sarver offside, and he was not successful.
Sarver for Pedrino. Pedrino wanted to drop it back to Sarver, unable to link up. Zamora into the circle. Castro. Castro wanted to link up with Moragrega, unable to do so. And then Castro nearly won the ball back, and they're going to say a foul against Castro. North Texas winning last year's MLS Next Pro Cup against Philadelphia Union by a score of 3-2. It was a Pedrino game-winning goal in stoppage time. Possibility he could have a game-winning goal here against Tapatio. Nice back heel ball. Here's an opportunity for Castro. Drops off for Inda. Morgrega.
At the outset of this attack, Morgrega actually starts everything by dropping into midfield like we were talking about. They're able to spring it wide, and he's the recipient at the end as well. But I tell you what, Zamora, for me, is the one really pulling the strings in midfield. He's starting everything. Aguayo right there with that nifty back heel. Really unselfish play from Castro and Inda to spring Morgrega in that area.
Sarver now near the corner. Sarver looping ball in, headed away by Tapatio. North Texas continues to show that they want to stretch the field, trying to connect with the captain once again. Malachi Molina to throw this ball in for North Texas. 12 appearances now on the season for Malachi Molina. Molina teammates with Tarek Scott for Jamaica, the Reggae Boys U20 side. Referee Emi Nanso Anqualo speaking with Padrino. And Sabeling gets by his defender, and a tug of the jersey by Sabeling stays on his feet to the end line, cuts it across, and deflected out. Who's it last touched by Scott? And that is who it is touched by.
I like that from Sabeling to keep going. You see so many times where players will go down, but there was an obvious ability to take advantage, get into the penalty area. Mendez just cannot stay with him. He tries to let him go. He does. Goes in line, plays it near post, doesn't hit it quite cleanly enough, and Scott does a pretty good job of getting to that near post area.
Tarek Scott on the season, 5 goals on the year. Couldn't get that shot across the goal mouth. Zamora switching sides as this pass is intercepted. Good job stepping forward right there by North Texas's Gavin Gall. Scott looking to stretch the legs. Delgadillo back to defend. Padrino looking to give it back to Scott, and Montiel will shepherd this ball now. He'll pick it up.
It's not a bad idea, though, from Padrino to try to spring Scott in there, just not on the same page. But what we're seeing from John Gall's side is exactly what we spoke to him about this week, was the balance of verticality and going direct, and then also knowing when to wear down your opponent. I think they've done a pretty good job of playing direct at times, but also looking to spring the attack in possession.
Aguayo retreating. Hard challenge there between Aguayo and Ariame. Ariame has to be careful. He already has a yellow card.
Ariame is definitely covering a lot of ground in midfield, and it's Aguayo going backwards. Ariame definitely initiates the challenge. Our center official gets it completely right. He does get hit on the backside, but of his own doing. And you made a good point. He does need to be careful, because the last thing that North Texas needs is to have a second yellow given to anybody.
Castro thought about playing it early, but needs to wait for the go-ahead. Castro for Inda. Back to Castro. Inda. Top of the 18. Over the head of everyone, Molina to the corner. And he'll usher this out of play as it's stabbed out now by Delgadillo. Tonight's match is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Gall back with the second team, was up with the first team last year. Talked about his time with the first team, excited to be back here to lead the second team and help develop these players to get to that next level. Already seen some of those players get some time with the first team. Sam Sarver already with 3 appearances this year. Josh Quintaro, another player, the outside back for North Texas. Alvaro, obviously a player that's playing tonight. You can go back to last year. Padrino now with the first team here for North Texas. Nolan Norris, another player, but such a key thing to be able to develop those players and give them that opportunity to play with FC Dallas.
It's such an interesting role and an interesting balance when you talk about the development of players, because a lot of times people think development is just the skill set and just the matriculation to the first team, but also teaching these players how to win and how to win at the professional level. That's part of development too. So opportunities like this are also really important. It's not just the training every day and what's going to fit into the first team, but teaching players to compete, to be a winner, and to adapt tactically to tough competition.
And of course, same thing going for Tapatio with Chivas, trying to develop these players for the first team as well as in Liga MX. So both coaches understand of they want to win, they want to compete, win championships, but they also want to be able to send these players to that next level. Castro will slow it up at the moment. Tapatio picking and choosing when they like to go direct. Good build up from Tapatio throughout the game here against North Texas. Sarver applying a little pressure.
And if Freyfeld can bypass that pressure, there's space in the outside. That's where the 2-against-1s are really important for Tapatio. Well dealt with right there by Mendez. That's a tough ball for Montiel, but it's the wide spaces. And I just don't think we've seen Torres enough on the ball. He's on it now, but he hasn't gotten it much off that left side.
Zamora. Mendez. Aguayo trying to shovel that pass over, but no on the opposite side for Tapatio, as this is simply played out past the touchline. Zamora into the circle. Freyfield. Inda. Delgadillo down the line. Jimenez loses possession. Scott to Padrino. Sarver making another run as this ball is played in space and right into the path of Sarver. Sarver waiting for some reinforcement. He'll play it backwards.
It's not a bad ball in the change of point, but if that's a more straight ball, Sarver's running to goal, you can kind of see his head go back because it was a little bit too aggressive into the wide channel. So he decides to start over and gain numbers.
Molina. Sarver. Deflected, and this will be gathered in by Montiel. He started in the Campeones de Campeones last season for Tapatio in that victory against Leones Negros.
Well, the longer this game goes on at 2-1, I believe it favors North Texas much more because they've shown that they can counterattack. And what inevitably happens is the team that's losing is going to commit more and more numbers forward. So the structure defensively in transition may be a little bit off because they have to risk. That's where Sarver, Padrino, Scott have to be really locked in because they just may get one chance to extend the league. And that will make it much easier for them to see this out.
And where do you see that coming, where Tapatio will start to send those numbers a little bit more forward as they try to get more aggressive?
I'd say within 20 minutes left, so 70th minute and beyond, maybe 75th. And they're already starting to get more possession because North Texas doesn't have to press forward, but they still have this structure of 3 behind the ball that are pretty disciplined. I think that's where Mendez will start to go more, or Delgadillo on the opposite side, and it could be a 2-against-2 at the back.
Delgadillo, a goal in last year's away match against Leones Negros as well. They have another player on the bench that scored the game-winning goal in Sanchez, who could possibly come on in this game. Torres playing into the backside of the box. Goes over Gall's head. And out across the end line. Couple subs getting ready to come on here for Tapatio in just a moment. Lone sub so far. Favre Ariame coming on for North Texas, replacing Nolan Norris. Or giveaway by North Texas. Aguayo to his right. Castro. Inda. Torres. Back post! Punched away by Colodi. Another brilliant save. Inda drops it off. Zamora. Torres. Back post ball, but Colodi able to snatch the ball out of the air.
Well, the separation right now, in my opinion, is the goalkeeping. Colodi has come up huge. This is great play from Torres. Puts it into a very dangerous area. Castro trying to get across. Not only does Colodi make the save, but he parries it into an area that's less dangerous, where he allows his defenders to recover and clear.
Castro nearly with a brace in this game, but Colodi once again 4 solid saves here in this matchup here in the MLS Next Pro Invitational. So now we will have our subs come in. Gibran Ortiz will come on. He'll replace Errol Castro, the goal scorer. Also coming into the game will be Daniel Flores, as Flores will come in for Francisco Mendez. And they will have a goalkeeper change as well. Juan Lisiga will come in for Eric Montiel.
Well, I think 2 of these subs really make a lot of sense. Mendez was getting a little bit tired, it looked like, in the 1v1. He's had his hands full with Sarver and being able to play off that right side. And then as also Lisiaga coming in as a goalkeeper, I think with Montiel and some of the mistakes that were made early on, why not get another goalkeeper in as you're preparing for your season and just shore that up a little bit. But I like Castro. Obviously a great goal, but he's also been on the ball and playmaking a lot in midfield. But we'll see what Ortiz can do.
How many of these you think, for obviously substitution purposes and to give other players just minutes to get ready for the season?
That has to be in your back of your mind as a coaching staff. You're here, you want to win a trophy. Don't get me wrong, I think they're 100% going for that. So you balance that piece, but you also do start your season in a week. So it is that top 13, 14, 15 players they're really going to invest in, and that's probably how they think they can win a trophy anyways. Keep the levels high, get some new matchups in there that might make it a little bit harder on North Texas.
Morgrega. We'll have a foul here against North Texas, and we'll have another booking. And Sabeling will look to go into the books now for North Texas.
Morgrega does well to get in the wide channel. He's been more involved, and Sabeling takes that challenge. I don't know if that's a yellow card for me. He has players coming in behind to go. It's a hard challenge, but Sabeling hasn't really been very involved in those types of plays so far in the game.
Some of the chippiness we've also seen as
maybe
well.
Just trying to keep it at bay. Yeah, I think that's a good point, because in and of itself, for me, that foul isn't necessarily warranting a yellow card, but you don't want it to get out of hand.
Tiki Sabeling handed the yellow card for North Texas. Tiki Sabeling, another player down from the first team here this evening. This ball's whipped in, headed down. Aguayo exits the 18-yard box. Good play defensively right there by Mo Cisse to win the ball back for North Texas. This portion of the match is brought to you by UT Southwestern Medical Center, the #1 hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth. Sarver in space. Sarver on the edge of the area. Cuts it back. An opportunity here. Cut back once again. And then slotted home by Tarek Scott. Great ball movement right here by North Texas as they get their third goal of the game. Morgrega not happy with Scott as he had some words for the back line at Tapatio.
Well, this is where the unselfishness pays off because you have them scrambling defensively. Sarver goes, he draws two players in, finds Nsabaling right in his path. He's able to take a touch. Love this right there. The angle is much better if he finds Scott, and he knows that. And a little bit of words going towards Jimenez from Scott, but I love the decision from Nsabaling. That's a playmaker right there that understands that there's a better angle and an easier finish, and he finds Scott.
Scott now with 6 goals across all competitions this season. And for Nsabaling now, he has 2 assists in the game tonight for North Texas. Instrumental in the setup in the first goal to Pedrino, and that time gets a great ball from Sarver, very unselfish, drops it off for Scott, who slots it in for the third goal for North Texas.
Well, that's one of those moments that Nsabaling could have gone to goal himself, but if you don't score it, then there's questions why you didn't just slot it across to the easier finish. And so I love seeing that from a midfielder, the vision that that takes, the unselfishness, and understanding just the right decision in the right moment. And give Sarver credit as well, just going in the 1v1, not needing to take it himself and finding the initial pass.
This ball played to the top of the 18-yard box, but over the head of the intended target in Aguayo. Clody also been tremendous in this game, a large reason North Texas has this 2-goal lead at the moment.
You can definitely look at the score and think it's all about the attack and, oh, he also gave up a goal, but it would be more goals if it wasn't for Colodi, because Tapatio has definitely asked questions of him, and he's answered every time.
Daniel Flores back to defend Sarver right there. Flores came up in the Real Salt Lake Academy. Spent a couple seasons with Real Monarchs before making his way to Tapatio. Colodi going direct, this time looking for Molina. Back is Flores. Flores originally from Tucson, Arizona before he became a part of the Real Salt Lake Academy. Nice little back heel here for Ariame. Sarver, an opportunity. Sarver with a shot, blocked away. Good save right there by Lisiega, who just subbed on. And going to the backside, Morgrega right into the back of Aaron Essel.
Morgrega is already upset because he was upset about the goal and the extracurriculars that Scott exchanged with Jimenez in the back line. Then Essel looks like he fouls. We'll take a look back at this last opportunity. Great save there by Lisiaga just to get into an area well cleared there in that spot because Sarver had a great opportunity. This is the turn by Aguayo. There's a little bit of confrontation there. Morgrega not happy, comes in and absolutely hits Essel. I think that's a deserved yellow card.
Morgrega now into the books. Essel's hand did get up high to Sergio Aguayo. Morgrega not happy protecting his teammate. Also probably a little frustration in there as well. And now Caleb Swan will come on as he'll come on as Tiki Nsabaling will come off and Nsabaling leaves with the 2 assists. He was very instrumental today in the midfield for North Texas.
He did a great job. He was in partnership with Essel in the first half. A lot of defensive work, staying really nice and compact and disciplined. Then obviously getting the assist as well. But good decision making in the run of play. Now time for Caleb Swan to come in, and he'll be able to fill that role as well.
John Gall talking about Caleb Swan in our coach's call, talking about being that box-to-box midfielder, good in the attack as well as defending. But his work rate, his never die attitude is one of the things that he absolutely loves about Caleb Swan. Just has an engine that never stops, wants to win at everything, and you love those kind of players when you have them on the field in training or in game situations, obviously.
I think that one of the things that was kind of endearing, for lack of a better word, I felt was endearing was John Gall said, we actually need to tell him to not work so much sometimes, like just stand in pockets, and that's part of his development and his growth. But he was like, I love that about him. You can always tell someone to find different spots. You can't necessarily always get someone to work harder and have that engine.
Caleb Swan, a player that he thinks he can move up to the next level as well. FC Dallas doing a great job of taking his players, especially from last year's championship side, and elevating him up to the first team in FC Dallas. Delgadillo, Inda. Flores going inside. Torres. And this will be last touch, they're going to say, by North Texas. And for Tapatio, a corner opportunity here.
Well, Edsel continues to be aggressive, but I think they can use that against him, because if Torres just stands in the box there, and we see a little bit of animated movements there from the North Texas staff, but I think if we see Tapatio use that pressure against him, he could end up having a foul outside the box or penalty area.
Outward swinging ball coming from Inda. Into the heart of the box. Long range shot, well off target. Gabriel Ortiz with that shot attempt for Tapatio. This portion of the match is brought to you at Vocare Spark. Energy for today, tomorrow, and every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
We'll now have a hydration break for these two clubs here in the second half. North Texas currently up 3-1, thanks to a Tarek Scott goal here in the second half. Pedrino scoring the goals in the first half for North Texas. The lone goal in this game from Tapatio coming from Errol Castro.
Well, the last outing, Sarver got 4 goals in a game. Today he's been playmaker, going in the 1v1, finds that swap pass in. Sabaling, who's trailing the play, then plays it over to Tarek Scott for the 3rd goal. This provides a little bit of separation. I love the decision from the holding mid. A great first touch. It eliminates 2 defenders, and a great finish from Scott. Still got to put it in the back of the net. Easier said than done, he does.
And Sabaling now off the pitch, but that was his 2nd assist of the game, setting up Scott. Great ball movement there by North Texas as they control this game by a score of 3-1 in this MLS Next Pro Invitational. 2 champions going at it. It's been back and forth throughout the game, but North Texas now slowly starting to pull ahead.
Well, what they did is they allowed some possession to go to Tapatio, which we expected. Having the lead, you can really sit back and go, okay, how do we want to approach this second half in totality? It doesn't have to all be at once. They did that. That wasn't necessarily a full counterattack, but it was attacking transition where they were able to get that goal because they just waited for their time. And then they got numbers forward and were very efficient in the final third.
Tapatio, they've had opportunities in this game. Aguayo had a goal that was ruled off because of offside. Grega has had a chance as well in this game, but Tapatio right now trailing by 2 goals. Colodi, he's been magnificent between the sticks here for North Texas as well. This game could very much be tied up at 3 apiece. If not, Tapatio could be even leading in this game if it wasn't for a few saves from Colodi. Essel sends it all the way down for Pedrino. Opportunity maybe here for Pedrino. Pedrino chips it! Oh, just off target. Could have been a hat trick.
Oh, I love the finishing choice, though, from Pedrino, looking to capitalize, and then a little bit cheeky right there. Stepping was Arayame in that space. Then Pedrino's the recipient. It just is floating a little bit wide in this moment. I like this. Lisiaga trying to put him under pressure. It's just barely off, but great decision from the center forward.
Pedrino could have put the game away if that goal would have gone in. But unfortunately for North Texas, just wide of the frame. Scott. Gall just overran the ball, and then we're gonna have a foul here from behind as things get even chippier between these two sides. So we didn't have a booking as well there. We might have even had a second booking here.
Well, there's a lot going on right now. A lot of late challenges after the play. Our referee has been pretty good and been on top of it. And I think to your point earlier of why he was giving some of those like yellow cards to Insabeling that maybe weren't necessarily yellow cards, but this is why, because it can get really chippy, tempers can go, and you've got to keep that under control.
There it looks like we're gonna have a pair of yellow cards. It looked like it was Ortiz as well as Gavin Gall.
That was the initial challenge right there from Inda, and then Jimenez just puts that extra shove in the back of Gavin Gall. Gavin Gall reacts, and then the scuffle ensues.
So it'll probably be actually Jimenez and Gall handed the yellow card. We'll wait for official word. Gavin Gall did get in a yellow, and it was indeed Jimenez for Tapatio. And now more pushing and shoving at the top of the 18-yard box. Two very competitive teams going at it here tonight in this MLS Next Pro Invitational in Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Also handed a yellow card in there was Inda as well for Tapatio. Now Uribe will come in. And now also into the game, Diego Latour. Off goes Sergio Aguayo, who probably could have had a goal in this game if it wasn't for a couple of Colodi saves. This ball driven on by Pedrino, takes deflection, and it'll be a corner kick for North Texas. Pedrino to take an inward swinging ball. The service, back post, knotted down by Alvaro, but off target.
Well, Mora Grega does a lot of work defensively because Alvaro just cannot quite time it because there's a little bit of pulling there on that back post area. I love this ball. It's in swinging, but it's to the far post, so it doesn't allow Lisiaga to come out and take it.
Alvaro in great position there on the back post. Ortiz attacking. Ortiz square ball, but sent away by Molina.
Gavin Gall, 78th minute. Also yellow cards for Tapatio, number 48, Leonardo Jimenez.
Zamora.
And number 225, Christian Indian.
Delgadillo. Diagonal ball. Ortiz trying to get by Molina. Good job there by Molina. Stab the ball away. A hard challenge by Sarver on Zamora.
A lot of defensive work from Sarver. I think Zamora's done really well in Inda in that central midfield area. They've really pulled the strings, and now it's causing Scott and Sarver to have to come back and defend. Even though they have the 2-goal lead, you like to see that when you talk about the development piece. What are they doing even with the 2-goal lead, and how will that work going into the first team?
Entering the match is number 58, Juan Uribe, and number 198, Diego Reyes.
Damas y caballeros, se recuerdan 2 cambios por el Club Deportivo Tapatío al minuto
Another
78.
yellow card handed out as well. And it'll be Malachi Molina into the books.
Entra con la camisa número 58 Juan Uribe y con la número 198 Diego Latorre.
Freyfield will go inside for Zamora, into the circle. Delgadillo. Tapatio trying to find space to work with, see if they can penetrate the back line of North Texas. This ball whipped into the box, headed out by Alvaro. Ariame will send away, but not far enough from Tapatio. Zamora. Flores. Flores will get the whistle, and the foul will be called against Sam Sarver. Now an opportunity here on the set piece for Tapatio.
Well, I like the energy, but there's really no need to foul in this moment because you're just allowing them to go quick.
And Tapatio, they want to start quickly, unable to do so. They'll reset. Ortiz to take this. Whips it into the area and knocked away by Colodi. Colodi doing a good job reading that ball all the way in. Moragrega right there trying to cause the distraction.
He just misses it. It's actually put in the perfect spot for Moragrega to beat Colodi. He beats him actually to the area, but when he goes to snap, he doesn't time it properly.
Just barely misses it with the header attempt. Ball played in, skips through. Essel, though, just not in control. Inda. Another corner here for Tapatio as they look to be effective here in the final third.
This is a good test too, especially when you're trying to shore up things more defensively in your entire performance across the league, just really trying to have that box organization.
The service off the volley. The chance here for Sarver to run. Sarver looking over his shoulder for some help. Good job defensively right there by Tapatio. Daniel Flores being a major factor in there.
It's a lot of yardage to cover, but I really wanted to see Sarver run at Flores, but Flores does well just to retreat a little bit and condense space till numbers can get back.
Tapatio playing with a little desperation, trying to get one goal back. Scott chests the ball down. Scott able to dribble through 2 defenders. How about that? Sarver has Pedrino to his right. Gall on the left. Sarver gets by 1 defender. Sarver to his right, his preferred foot as he's pushed over. And let's see. This is just going to be on the edge of the 18-yard box.
I thought initially Sarver was on the line at the very minimum, but he did take a little bit of a backwards touch with his right foot. You can see the unselfishness. He's looking to pass instead of just going in the 1v1, and that throws off the defending of Freyfield. The ball is in the box, but he does take that right touch to take the ball out, but he's still in there. So that's really interesting, because when the point of contacts happen, I believe he's in the penalty box.
Look right there. The ball might have also been just behind the 18-yard box and in the area.
Well, they get a little bit lucky, in my opinion.
And we saw a kick like this for Tapatio in the first half, and now here's a chance for North Texas. North Texas Colodi, a great save from a shot just from this exact spot back in the opening 45 minutes of play. And now Lisiaga will get an opportunity here for Tapatio to set up his wall. Pedrino and Sarver at the ball. Sam Sarver, 4 goals in the win against Sporting KC2. A chance for his first tonight if he takes this. It'll be Sarver, and just wide.
You referenced the last opportunity where Collodi had to make the save. They went more for power, Aguayo did. This one, Sarver gets some power on this, but looking more for that accuracy piece.
Alvaro. Last year's MLS Next Pro Invitational, Austin FC getting the win against FC Cancun in the first ever meeting between these two leagues. And it looks to be North Texas looking to get it here in this meeting here tonight in this MLS Next Pro Invitational.
Well, and this being the first 90-minute game internationally that they've played as well, and so it's really good for them if they can see this out.
This ball played into the box, Collodi there. Couldn't grab the ball, but able to fall on top of it. Collodi with a good read right there and a commanding presence, getting on top of that ball. Casey, what has North Texas done to withstand the pressure here, especially in the last 10 minutes or so against this Tapatio side?
I think their structure overall has been very good defensively, and they've managed transition moments. They've had a distinct shape defensively, which has really helped. And then you have your goalkeeper step up in the moments that does break down, or that the quality of the opposition, wins out. I think it's a good balance so far because they've really had Collodi step up in those moments.
Just a couple minutes away from MLS Next Pros. North Texas about to lift another trophy here in this MLS Next Pro Invitational. Ariame, how about this through ball to Sarver? Sarver, an opportunity, and great effort right there by Daniel Flores, getting back defensively. Twice now he's done that against Sarver.
And that to me looks like a very clean challenge from Daniel Flores, to be fair. Sarver looks like he's in. Ariame plays a great ball just between the center back and the outside back. A really good first touch. What a well-timed challenge. It's a little chippy. Sarver initiates the chippiness, but that's a great tackle from the defender.
Flores coming on as a sub here in the second half, and he's been big for Tapatio since he's entered the game.
I know I addressed the defensive side of the game, but I think as well, going back to what John Gall said, the ability to play direct and the ability to possess and knowing when to do what, I think that North Texas has probably taken a step forward this evening and having a little bit of both, going more direct at times at a change of point or in behind, but also at times they've played through the midfield and they've slowed things down, and that's really good for their future.
Sarver will just play this off the body. We'll have another sub here for North Texas. Come on. Giveaway by North Texas. And this one sent into the stands. And now Jaden Contreras will come on for Sam Sarver. So Sam Sarver, no goal in this game, but he was plenty disruptive.
He was, and he draws so much attention because of his ability to score goals that people have to react to what he does, and that opens up spaces for his teammates as well. I think there's a little bit of disappointment in him coming off the field, but this is a protection sub in my opinion. You saw how chippy it got. Get him off the field. He's performing well, and it looks like he got the game in hand.
Jaden Contreras now on with some fresh legs for North Texas, as we'll have 5 minutes of stoppage time added on.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time.
Champion versus champion here tonight between MLS Next Pros, North Texas, and Liga MX and Expansion's champion in Tapatio. Tapatio, even though the scoreline says 3-1, this very much could be a tied-up game. Collodi has made some big saves in this contest. Of course, he had the goal that was called off due to offside by Aguayo in the first half. Collodi Cody, he's been able to read the shots well to get himself in a good position to make some quality saves, especially in that first half on that set piece opportunity. Trophy ceremony as well as MVP after this game. We'll have another yellow card handed out. Collodi handed a yellow card. This ball played in the box at the spot. Tapatio wants a handball, don't get the call. Morgrega. This ball looped in, headed, but well off frame.
And Delgadillo finds himself a little bit higher up. He's been in that back line most of the game, but just trying to put more numbers forward, see if they can just cause any issues against North Texas in the last few minutes.
All right, fans, put your hands.
And now Daniel Barron will come in to close out the game for North Texas. Tarek Scott off.
Entering the match is number 36, Daniel.
Scott leaves with the third goal of the game for North Texas. Beautiful pass by Insabaling, setting up that goal for Scott. Tapatio trying to get this one back. This ball cleared away by Swan.
Those wide spaces are where we were talking about that Tapatio could take advantage when they do it in transition. You can see all the space that they do have there. It just might be a little too late.
Padrino for Contreras, who just subbed on. Contreras will turn away. Padrino with a brace in this game. Both his goals coming in the opening half of play. Tough one to decide who the MVP of this match is, as we'll have another yellow card handed out, and Cisse not happy with Morgrega.
Well, and Cisse played that ball away, so that's why he looks like he's going to be given that yellow card. But you know, you're seeing a little bit of the frustration come out, and North Texas definitely has the younger team out of these two teams as well. John Gall talked about that, and I think they've shown a really professional approach going against this Tapatio team who has a little bit more experience, a little more age on them, but it's been a really good matchup between the two.
Another ball played in the top of the area. An opportunity, oh, how about that win back by North Texas. Dying moments here in the MLS Next Pro Invitational. This ball sent in. Once again, Tapatio wanting a handball. Shot from distance, rising up and over. Great look right there from Tapatio. But Leonardo Jimenez not able to get the shot on frame. And there is your whistle, and North Texas are your MLS Next Pro Invitational winners as they get the victory 3-1 over Tapatio.
Well, Josh, winning never gets old. Winning a trophy never gets old, and the reaction says it all and what it means to this North Texas group, the 2025 MLS Next Pro Invitational champions. As a player and as a staff, it doesn't get more fun than that.
A trophy to hoist for North Texas as they get the victory 3-1. Padrino with a brace in this game. Tarek Scott closing out with a goal in the second half. Casey, your overall thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, first of all, it was very entertaining from both sides. A lot of attacking pieces from both Tapatio and North Texas. Some really good performances. I like that it was a little bit end-to-end, but it was with thought. There was clarity in the way both of these teams wanted to attack. And overall, I just think a really good show for everyone watching.
Plenty of action on both sides of the field in this game. But North Texas are your MLS Next Pro Invitational champions with a victory of 3-1, trophy ceremony and MVP presentation when we return as North Texas takes the crown at home.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Wins it!
Yeah, I know I'm fully attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. A jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
It's dominance on the line.
North Texas victorious in the MLS Next Pro Invitational, 3-1 victory over Tapatio. Will now send down to MLS Next Pro Senior Vice President of Sporting Development, Ollie Curtis, for the MV presentation. And then Miguel Angel Diaz, the Director of Liga Expansión MX, with a trophy presentation in this MLS Next Pro Invitational.
Fans, please join us in welcoming Liga MX Director Miguel Angel Diaz as he presents the trophy to the 2025 MLS Next Pro Invitational MVP.
Aficionados, démosle una cordial bienvenida al director de la Liga MX, Miguel Ángel Díaz, para la presentación del trofeo al jugador más destacado de este partido, número 20, Pedriño, de la 2025 MLS Next Pro Invitational.
Congratulations, Pedriño. And now, fans, please join us in welcoming MLS Next Pro Senior Vice President Ollie Curtis as he says a few words and presents the trophy to the 2025 MLS Next Pro Invitational Champions, North Texas SC.
Y ahora démosle una cordial bienvenida al señor Vice President de la MLS Next Pro, Ali Cortes. Él dirigirá unas palabras y presentará el trofeo al campeón de la 2025 MLS Next Pro Invitational, North Texas SC.
Before we get started, we first, on behalf of Major League Soccer Next Pro, we first want to thank the fans for coming out tonight and supporting the team all season. We also want to thank the Liga Expansión as well as the club Tapatio for a great game tonight. FC Dallas and North Texas Soccer Club have done an unbelievable job with their organization. Only a few months ago, we were here to celebrate their title of MLS NEXT Pro Cup champion, and now we get to crown them with the MLS NEXT Pro Invitational Cup trophy.
An MLS Next Pro Invitational, another trophy for the trophy case for North Texas as they get the victory tonight over Club Tapatio by a score of 3-1. Casey, your thoughts on tonight's performance?
It's just fun to win, and you love seeing that. You love seeing the players, you love seeing the coaching staff, but then you look beyond that and what this can do for them. Enjoy it tonight, but it can propel you just to continue to have good performances as they go through the remainder of their season.
An exciting match between these two clubs. Pedrinho with a brace in this game. He was awarded the MVP. A couple mistakes early in the game for Tapatio is really what did them in ultimately as North Texas gets the win in this MLS Next Pro Invitational. And back to the regular season for North Texas. Seeding Tapatio will begin their season as North Texas gets the win 3-1 over at Tapatio. For Casey White and this crew, I'm Josh Toll saying thank you and good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.